welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing passion twists. This is not a tutorial. Okay, let's jump right into this video. Here's all the things I'm using, starting off with the gray Morfose Hair Wax. I'm gonna be using this on the perimeter of my parts to keep everything sleek and smooth. Next, we have the EBIN edge tamer to lay my edges, cause girl, we love some swoops over here. Now we have the infamous rat tail comb to make your parts as clean as you can get them. Next up is the hair that I use, which is the Jamaican Realistic Roots Water Wave. It's in 24 inches long in the color 1B. I used about 4 packs for this hairstyle, but you can probably use less. I was just a newbie and kept having to redo my twists. And I used about 3 pieces of hair for each twist. Last, but certainly not least, I used rubber bands on my hair because I was doing the rubber band method, which meant that I was using a crochet needle, which you will also need for this process. Okay, so random tip I saw on YouTube was to put your rubber bands in oil so that they don't break your hair, as you see me doing right here. I don't know why I made that face. I started off parting my hair into 2 sections using my ears as a guide to know where to start the parts. I'm taking it all the way up to like the top of my head, and your hair should look something like this, as you can see here. Right now, you see me being hella confused about how I'm about to part the back section of my head, but I got 2 mirrors and tackled that off camera, and I think I did pretty good. I used the brick parting method to make sure I had as little amount of scalp showing as possible. And if you don't know what brick parting is, basically you part your hair the same way a brick wall looks, or staggered squares. So the braid or twist in the top row falls between the row beneath it. Like you want the hair on the top row to end up falling between the 2 braids in the bottom row. Okay, when creating your parts, you want to get them as clean as possible in the first go. Then run your hair wax along that part and grab your rat tail comb and make it even cleaner. Now in the front row, you kind of want it to be clean because that's the part that everybody's gonna see, you know, like nobody's gonna see the back part, so you could like wing it in the back there, you know, but you still want to get it as clean as you can, but you could kind of like wing it, you know. You don't have to like make it amazing. But the front part, come on, like that's the front part, like that's the first part that everybody's gonna see. You don't want everybody to see you and be like, oh my god, her parts look hideous. But nobody's gonna say that because, you know, we'll punch them in the eye. But like, you still don't want them to say that, you know? So you kind of want to get it as clean as you can. Next, you want to like make a square, like make a line to do the square. And you want to add your wax to it too and smooth it in, obviously, because we want it to look nice and sleek and smooth. And then once you have your square, you're going to add your rubber band because we're doing the rubber band method. Oh, you want to add the rubber band loosely because we're doing the rubber band method. Also, please don't do what I did. When you put your hair in the rubber band, you want to twist it up because this ends up being a problem because the hair that I'm trying to put in the rubber band ends up getting caught up with the hair that's not in the rubber band, that I already put in a different rubber band. Like I kept having to take it out, and that was a lot of work for no reason. So that kind of slowed me down. So please don't do what I did. But other than that, you want to continue until you're done with your entire head. But I have a question for you guys while you watch me do this or whatever. What was the first hairstyle that you ever did where you added like braiding hair? Because this is the first time that I've ever done this. And it took me a really long time for like no reason at all. And I just want to know, like, was I the only one that struggled on their very first time doing like a hairstyle where you added like extra hair to your head? Or even like if you added like weave or something, like a wig by yourself, like did you struggle as much as I struggled? Because this was a struggle for no reason. Also, I may do this again. I'm not sure. Depends on how I'm feeling. Maybe. But leave some hairstyles below, like natural hairstyles, maybe some hairstyles with added hair, maybe, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all just watch the video until you need me again. Now that my entire head is parted, let's get into the actual twisting part that you guys actually came here for. As you can tell, I was fed up because this hairstyle was running me mad. And on top of that, my crochet needle was kind of flimsy, so it wouldn't even stay closed when I tried pulling the hair through. So that kind of made me upset too. After I pulled the hair through, I made sure both sections were the same length and thickness. I then pulled my real hair so that it pulled the rubber band closer to my scalp onto the twisting hair. And you know, I'm just enjoying life, twisting my hair, because I'm like, you know, I'm at the front, I'm about to be done soon, like it's late, like we got this, you know, like everything is going great, right? Everything's going great. But of course I let the hair go and the twist looks funky. Why does the twist look funky? Now, this was a challenge getting the twist to look nice and big and bouncy, because I noticed that sometimes you'd have to twist in the right direction. That works with the hair in your hand, and if it doesn't work, it might be the curl pattern of the hair not being the same. But sometimes even with that being the right way, it wasn't working for me, as you can tell, because it still would look like a struggle twist to me, and I didn't want it to look like a struggle twist, you know? So sometimes even like I would even, after twisting the hair multiple times, I would even have to try and do it again with new hair. And then finally I got it right. As you can tell, I was happy. So another tip to know which twisting direction is working is to let go of the hair halfway down. If it looks good, continue. If it doesn't, then you know the twist in the opposite direction. I mean, what else are you to do? Like I'm doing here, like instead of completing the twist and then finding out after I've done the entire twist that it was messed up, I did it halfway. I also want to mention that I cut the hair in half for the bottom section of my head, but when I got to the top, like the crown area of my head, I had to use the entire length of hair so that it was the same length as the bottom in terms of like where they stopped at my shoulders. Another well-needed tip that I feel like nobody talked about was to make sure that your hair was not long. Make sure that your hair is not any longer than my hair. And if it is, then you're definitely going to be chopping off some of your hair, because I chopped off some of mine by accident, you know? And obviously, on top of chopping off all of my hair, also while I was cutting this hair, don't do what I did and chop it. Like you're gonna see, don't chop it right after you put the rubber band on it. Let it puff up a bit, because then that causes it not to be at the same length. Because okay, let's say you chop it while it looks like it's the same length as the other hair, like where you're gonna chop the elastic. When you let it go and it starts to puff up, it's gonna be a bit higher because it wasn't puffed up before you chopped it. So then it's not all gonna be the same length if that's what you're looking for, a clean cut. Obviously, I had to just go with the flow because, you know, we just go with the flow over here. But like, if you don't want the same outcome as me, like, you know, chop it after it puffs up, okay? Okay. I also want to say that I made this video with the intentions of making it a tutorial per se, but now I'm just doing it to show you like what not to do. So this is a what not to do tutorial. Yeah, that's what I'm calling it. Obviously, before I show you the results, I just want to say that despite this being my first time doing this hairstyle and how difficult it turned out pretty good. I say this to say, if you're trying something new, keep trying until you get it right. Anyway, cue the reveal. I think we're feeling it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new. I mean, obviously everybody would be new because this is my first video. You can leave some tips for if I decide to do this again some other time. Also, you can leave like hair related stuff or whatever in the comments. I'm gonna talk to you later.